When we grow up, we leave our parents' house. We follow our own lives. For some of us, it means leaving our country. I moved to Brazil, and I spent a year away from my family. It was incredibly hard. Some nights I would just lie there, dreaming and imagining about being with them. That was all I wanted. As time goes by, somewhere along the way, you just kind of get used to the distance and you start thinking that there's always time. You know, life just keeps going. One week becomes another, and the weeks turn to months, and you don't really stop. But I started noticing small things I hadn't before. My mom, my dad, well, they're getting older. But I didn't feel sad. It felt more like a gift because I was lucky to notice it in time, and I couldn't wait to see them again.
Quer ficar aqui? Ai meu Deus, que pena. Deixa ela chegar mais perto.
The next day, after arriving in Portugal, we got in the car and started driving north to Spain. There was a small town there with thermal waters in the middle of the mountains. But on the way, we decided to stop at a castle. We walked around for a bit, and I've really missed this. Just hearing the wind through the mountains, it was just amazing. But more than that, I saw something I hadn't seen in a year. Tá muito bonita a bandeira, olha, toda estendida. Que lindo!
Tá?
Vamos.
Isto é mesmo bonito.
Vamos.
And after a while, we got back on the road.
Deste lado de Portugal, atravessas a ponte.
E a ponta, olhas para aí.
Espanha, sem lobos.
Oh, os buracos me deixaram apanhar. We set up the caravan and went to the hot water pool. But before that, I had something to do. The water was really hot. Entra! Te fria, entra, mete o pé! No one was even in it. People were just standing around it. So we just went back and had dinner.
Cala isso, se calhar não vais comer bem, eu às vezes babo. Olha para mim.
Ela não quer olhar.
I stepped outside to take out the trash and I looked up to see how the sky was. A lua não se vê. And it was filled with stars. It was freezing, so we put some warm clothes and went back out to photograph the stars. Que chique! Ui, quase deixar aquilo estar bom. Parece uma pintora francesa. Não foi não. Mas as fotografias vão ficar boas. Espero eu. Dá para tirar a fotografia ao caminho e ao céu. Como é que eu aperto isto?
Vou levantar isso. Isto dá-te mais estabilidade, não é?
Só está a começar a nebular.
Poucos. Pronto, não vamos interferir nas vistas um do outro. Vais para aqui, vou para isso. Tem que tirar a tampa, não é?
Eu já vou tirar uma.
Os olhos, tocar uma de testa a testa.
O tripé está gelado.
Pois está, pois é que não vou segurar nele.
Ah! Está tapada. Está tapada. Esqueci de tirar a tampa, peraí. Dá mais um minuto.
Isto é muito demorado, é mesmo assim?
São 15 segundos.
Calma,
Calma,
não te
ai,
mexas.
olha para esta constelação aqui em cima. Vou ali apontar para você. Ela está mesmo aqui em cima.
Depois apaga
Desliga,
a
desliga.
lanterna,
Esta constelação eu acho que é a Ursa Maior.
É, 4 mais 2. E no seguimento vai aparecer as 3. Normalmente quando aparece esta, aparecem as 3.
Acho que as três já pousaram porque esta vem muito depois. Eu vou tentar apanhar com esta árvore aqui no meio. Deixa eu ver se ela está mais ou menos alinhada. Eu acho que vai dar. Oh, ficou bonito, anda a ver, anda a ver. Com as árvores no meio.
Caraca, não vejo quase nada.
Olha um avião. Oh, vai estragar a fotografia, o avião está a passar à beira da constelação. Olha aqui o risco do avião. Empreste-me a tua 50mm. Um 1.8. Vamos ver. Não, vê as estrelas que nem dá para ver. The next morning I woke up and we were moving, which is not what you expect when you're still in bed.
O vídeo vai ser todo tremido.
Que rápido que está aí!
O pessoal vendo só a minha mãozinha gravou.
Estou só a olhar. Finally, the water was less hot, and after a few minutes inside the hot water, it was time for a walk. There was a part of the river just below a waterfall, about a kilometer ahead, that I've been thinking about it since we arrived.
What's your name? Ezekiel. Ezekiel. Fuck you too. What's your name?
I had missed this. Just being out here, it's just wonderful. Anda a ver que bonito que está aqui. When I left, my brother told me something. As they were watching the airplane slowly disappearing in the sky, my dad said that it felt like a lie. But now, a year later, being here with them, it feels like a lie, like a dream that I don't want to wake up from. In this part of the trail, as my wife and my mom went down to the river and I had my camera down, my father took the chance and gave me a really tight hug. It's been a long time since we didn't went down to walk. On top of that, it's the very first time that we go out camping with my wife. And because I've only gained interest for photography in Brazil, it's the first time that I go out with my dad, where we actually take some pictures of nature. I think that's why he gave me that hug. We were all extremely happy with these moments in family again after a year. We often tend to worry about the future. We tend to reflect a lot when we go out on long walks, but for me, it wasn't time for that. It was time to simply enjoy the company of my mom, my dad, my wife, and the beautiful river. As I was looking at the river, I just wanted to get in that crystal clear water. The only problem was, it was freezing. But I just couldn't leave this place without doing it. I thought I was being brave jumping into that water, but then my dad just went up the waterfall, so... On the way back, we just drove. No rush, just relaxing. The next day, my mom made lunch, and while she was cooking, I spent the morning outside with my dad cleaning out the garden. For you watching, it might seem like nothing special, but after spending a year away from them, somehow feels different. And when we finished, lunch was ready. There was rice, veggies, wine, chicken, meat, bean stew, and of course, a traditional Portuguese sponge cake pão de ló. It was just what we needed. After lunch, we stayed inside for a while. My wife and my dad watched The Chosen. And later that day, we went to the beach. When we arrived at the beach, I couldn't stop looking at the ocean. The light on the waves was just beautiful. I had never seen it like that before.
Olha! Meu pezinho aqui. Pegou o teu pé?
Tá fria.
Já nem sinto o meu.
Ainda quer mergulhar? Ei, a minha calça.
Molhou minha calça também.
Fogo.
Olha aí.
Ei.
Essa é redonda.
Olha, essa é bonita, olha. Olha pra cor desta.
Ai, tá bonita.
Agora que avisar os carros.
Mostra pro teu pai a foto que eu tirei tudo.
There was something about this day that made me think that we don't really notice the present, not when you're in it. We only notice these days when they're already just a distant memory. And as I was walking around, looking at the colors of the sea with my family and my wife, I had this strange feeling like I was already going to miss this. I can almost feel a memory being created while I'm still inside it. I think that's why I came back different. Not because I suddenly understood everything, but for once, I didn't want to wait until it was gone to know what it meant. I wanted to be here with them while it was still happening. Tem pistaches? Maybe one day I'll miss this weekend, but it wasn't time to think or to worry about anything else. It was time just to be here with them. Don't rush this. Olha, mais um. Ó, foi só. There was something about this day that made me think that we don't really need to notice the presents.
Uhum. Eu não acredito que eu gravei isso. Eu é que não vou fazer. Eu acho que não foi só o que viu. Que vergonha. Eu gravei tudo.
Vai pra ali.